بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم والصلاة والسلام على رسول الله وعلى آله وصحبه أجمعين. Since there is not much attendees at the moment, we're going to start with the conversation and then we're going to do the grammar after, inshallah. We didn't reach here as yet. Okay, I think we where were we? أسرتي نعم أسرتي ستحضر معي أيضا, right? This is the last sentence, correct? The sisters hearing me? So, can someone say something again? Okay, it's yeah. Now look at this word here. We're gonna give a benefit. We have here خالد سأحضر الخيمة. What is خيمة? Tent, right? سأحضر الخيمة. What lesson is this? This is the 10th wahda, third conversation. And look here, أحضر means I will bring. And here he's saying ستحضر أسرتي. My family will come. My family will come. Both of it, حضر. The root, right? Not the verb, the root is حضر. حضر. The first verb is from أحضر يحضر, to bring. أحضر يحضر. Right? أحضر, he brought. يحضر, he brings. And the second one is from حضر. حضر يحضر is he attends, he comes. Right? حضر, he came, he attended. يحضر, he comes or he attends. No, what's the difference? What's the relationship? Bringing and coming. There's a relationship between bringing and coming? What is it?
You're bringing something, and you're not bringing yourself. Coming is you're bringing yourself. Bringing is bringing something else. Taking something else with you.
حضر, you doing the action. حضر, you doing the action yourself. Right? You come. أحضر, you are causing something to do the حضر. So the tent cannot come by itself. You have to make it come. You have to bring it. So أحضر, you're causing the tent to حضر. Right? This is a donor's benefit. It was a bonus benefit. Right? It's our bonus benefit. I'm going to show you some demonstration. Remember those different scales that we used? Right? فعل, like علم, يعلم, right? أسلم, يسلم. All of those scales, جاهد, from the scale فعل, all of those scales, they have meanings to it. Right? They have general meanings. It doesn't mean that these meanings are applicable to all of the words under the scale, but it has general meanings. You know, in English, people they play around. You can do it officially, where you verbalize a noun, right? There are certain nouns that has a verb to it, right? And there are certain nouns that doesn't have a verb to it, but you can play with it and verbalize it for an unofficial reason. For example, give me a word, a noun. Like, for example, the word, the noun item. Right? Item is a noun. And if you verbalize item, what will it become? Itemize. Never hear the word? You never file for tax then. Right? Abdul Rahman, itemize is not a verb for item. You itemize something. Okay, material. Right? Material. Something is material, tangible, worldly. You materialized. There's a noun, verb, sorry, right? You materialized. So in English, you can use that to verbalize a noun. And you can play around with words that doesn't have a verb. Like, for example, some word, the same word is the noun and the verb. For example, the word fan. Fan is a noun, and fan is a verb. Right? You fan something. Right? Give me a word that you people they play with. Is now official. Like, for example, let's say Khalil forget to bring the cake. Say, I'm going to cake you. Official word? No, but you play with word. Right? So now one of the way to verbalize a word, for example, in Arabic, is put it on the scale fa'ala. Right? It can be done officially and unofficially. But most of the time, it can be official. For example, officially, you have the let me see. For example, the word, or before that. Let me take this one before we lose it. So the word hadara. Hadara means what? He came or he attended. Right? He came or he attended. Now, when you put it on the scale af'ala, one of the meaning, ahdara. Right? This hamza, when you add this hamza to a verb, one of the meaning is you're making a reciprocal verb become a ta'diya verb. I don't know what you call it in English. Meaning a verb that has an object. Hadara, he came, has an object. Ahdara, you're making something come. You bring in it. Now it becomes an object, right? Like for example, you say, the tent came. You're attributing the action to the tent itself. Where you say, ahdartu, the tent, al-khayma. What it mean? I cause the tent to come. I bring it. Clear? Give you another example. What's the meaning of kharaja? Kharaja means he left. Now what's the meaning of akhraja? I made him leave. In other words, I threw him out. Right? I made him leave. In other words, I expel or threw out. So for example, I say kharaja al-talib. The student left. Kharaja al-talibu. The student left. أخرج المدرس الطالب. The teacher threw the student out. In other words, made him leave. Right? So when you use this, shows that there is an external factor now. Clear? That is one of the purpose of this scale. Now, knowing the meaning of the scale can help you figure out the meaning of a sentence without going to the dictionary also. Right? But the best thing, you always go and check back if it's not clear. You always check back. Don't apply. Just use it as a tool to aid you in knowing the meaning. But in the beginning, don't use it to apply in the first, to apply to build your language. Because as I said, it's not always the meaning. It's not always the usage. It don't always use to show that you're causing something to do the three-letter form of it. Right? And there are many examples of this. The same meaning also is given to the scale fa'ala. When you put the ayn, this scale can carry the same meaning, and also it can carry the meaning of emphasis. For example, what's the meaning of alima? He? No. Alima. He knew. He knew. Right? Alimtu, I knew. Now when I put it on the scale, fa'ala, allama, means I cause someone to know. In other words, I teach them. Right? So one of the meaning of this scale is the same meaning of this scale. That's one meaning. Another meaning of this scale, as I said, is like to even like to verbalize a noun, right? To verbalize a noun, to make something into a noun. For example, the word, what's ka'ab? Huh? No, another meaning. Another meaning for Ka'ab. What's Ka'aba? Hmm? What is Muka'ab? Hmm? A Ka'ab is a cube, like a box. Right? Not a box, a cube. That is a Ka'ab. Now, if I want to verbalize it, I said I cube something, meaning I made something that was not a cube into a cube, you can use a scale. So if I say ana ka'abtu, ka'aba, meaning I made it into a cube. That's one of the meaning of the scale, right? So you know what's the meaning of ka'aba? You made something into a ka'ab, right? Another meaning of like allama, you made him alima, you made him know, you teach him, you give him knowledge. From one angle, you can say this is verbalizing, right? From the verb, from the noun, ilm. Ilm means what? Knowledge. You give him knowledge, allamahu. Right? Is one meaning of the verb. Another meaning of this scale, as I said, is emphasis. For example, what is the meaning of ghalaqa? He closed. Now if you say ghallaqa, what does it mean? You'll close it tight, emphasize. Right? Ghalaqa means he closed. It's already, you're already making something close. Right? You're not saying that the thing closed by itself. No. I close the door. Ghalaqtul bab. If I put shadda, emphasis, like I close it strongly, tightly, right? One of the meaning. Like for example, what is the meaning of the word adda? Huh? Huh? He counted. Right? Now, adda is how many letters? 3, right? Is officially adada. So now if I put an extra, if I make it into this scale, allama, it becomes what? Addada. So adda means I counted. Addada means what? Emphasis. Counting a lot. Right? Alladhi jama'a malan wa addada. Right? He didn't just adda, he addada. Emphasize. So those are some bonus. Yeah, Ka'b also means ankle. One of the meaning of Ka'b is ankle. Is a different one? Some monster. All right. So back to the class. And inshallah, at the end of the class, remind me, if y'all want, when the class finish, we can take a few of the scales and just mention some general meaning and examples of this scale. And like I said, it can help with figuring out stuff, right? For example, kafara means what? Now you put it on the scale, kafara means you made him a disbeliever. You claim that he's a disbeliever. And you said it, right? Mubtadi' is what? Innovator. Badda'a. You made him a mubtadi', right? You claim that he's a innovator. Huh? Yeah, the scale like allama. One of the meaning is to like verbalizing a noun or causing a verb from being reciprocal to being, what is the opposite of reciprocal in English? Like, is a word for that? All right, let me continue. Okay, so we have an al-wahda. Al-wahda al-hadiya ashara. We're on the 11th lesson still. Between Ahmad and Badr. Ahmad and Badr. What's the meaning of Badr? It's 5 o'clock already. What's the meaning of Badr? Here is the name of a person. Also, Badr is name of a place. When you say Laylat al-Badr, what is Laylatul Badr? Badr referring to the full moon. Right? So Laylatul Badr, the night of Badr means the night when the moon is full. The night when the moon is full. Transitive verb. Anybody know what is that? Transitive verb, right? That's the one for so the word fa'ala, the scale fa'ala and af'ala can make a verb transitive. Right? Somebody write that down. We can deal with it later. Okay. Aina taskunu al-an ya Badr? Where do you live now, O Badr? Aina taskunu? Where do you live?
You missed 2 pages. You skipped 2 pages.
Huh?
You skipped 2 pages. No. Listen this one.
No, remember this is a sum. This is not all the conversation one after the next. I summarize. So whoever is on this, the one before is Usrati satahdur, we finished that one. Right? Aina taskunu al-an ya Badr? Where do you live now, O Badr? Taskun, everyone know taskun, right? Sakana, he lived. Taskunu, he lives. Now who is the liver? What is a liver in English? What do you call a liver? The residents. In Arabic, if sakana, he lived, taskunu, sakin, right? Sakin. So if I say ana sakin huna, mean I'm a resident here, I'm living here, right? Ana sakin. And remember, you can use the door to mean the verb or to mean a noun. So I'm a resident here, I'm living here, both correct, right? أسكن في القرية. أسكن في القرية. I live in the قرية. What's قرية? Village, right? أسكن في القرية. Normally, when you have قرية, it's referring to other than the city. Medina is the city, the town or the city, and the قرية is the village, the countryside, right? Here, what you call it? Rural areas or something, right?
Country. Countryside.
لماذا تركت المدينة? لماذا? Why? تركت means you left. تركت means you left, right? ترك, he left. تركت, you left. تركت, I left. Past tense. المدينة. Why did you left the city? Why did you left the city? القرية هادئة والهواء نقي. القرية, the city is هادئة. What is هادئة? From hudu, calm, right? The city, sorry, the village is calm. هادئة. Right? From hudu, calmness. Ta marbuta because you have to match. It's not noun and adjective, it's noun and information, subject. Right? Noun and subject. And if the subject is a descriptive word, it has to match everything except with being definite or indefinite. We did that, right? And we can review it, don't take worries. If you don't understand a statement, remind me at the end of the class, you're going to review it. If the noun, if the predicate, the information about the subject is a descriptive word, it has to match everything except with being definite or indefinite. If it is not a descriptive word and it's a fixed noun, you don't have to match anything. وَالْهَوَاءُ نَقِيٌّ. And the hawa is the air, right? The air is naqi. Naqi means clean and pure. Naqi means clean and pure. Naqi. وَلَكِنْ فِي الْمَدِينَةِ جَامِعَاتٌ. وَلَكِنْ means but, right? This entire statement. وَلَكِنْ means but, right? You can even say lakin or walakin, all means but. Fil Madina, in the city, but in the city, jami'at. What is jami'at? Universities, right? But in the city, universities. But in the city, universities. Meaning, but there are universities in the city, right? Remember, there is not in English. But there are universities in the city. Wa mustashfayat, and hospitals. Mustashfayat is hospitals. Wa sharikat, and companies. And you good. And aswaq. Aswaq is markets. Aswaq is markets. Quick pause for the adhan.
Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu an la ilaha illallah. Ashhadu anna Muhammadan Rasulullah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala salah. Hayya ala falah. Hayya ala falah. Allahu Akbar, Allahu Akbar. La ilaha illallah.
It was presented. Right? Aswaq is what? markets, right? The plural for what? Souk. Badr, now Badr, he defending his decision. وفي المدينة أيضا ضوضاء. And in the city also is ضوضاء. What is ضوضاء? Huh? Flies? Not flies, not frogs. Flies is بعوضة or ذباب. Frogs is ضفادع. فأرسلنا عليهم الطوفان والجراد والضفادع. What is the word? والقمل والضفادع. ضفادع, frogs, ضوضاء, noise. ضوضاء is nice. Now this is a word that don't take tanween. This is a word that don't take tanween. وَالتَّلَوُّث. What's تلوث? تلوث is a pollution. تلوث, pollution. Right? تلوث. Any form of question? Noise. Noise. Right? Any form of pollution or things getting dirty. Lawth. What's the meaning of lawth? Right. Izdiham was izdiham. Wazdiham is congestion or traffic, crowd. Can refer to all. Right? But the general meaning referring to crowd and congestion. Crowd and congestion. Now if you're on the road and you say there is izdiham, you can translate it to mean heavy traffic. Right? If you're in a building and you say there is izdiham, you can translate it to mean crowd. Right? And so on. أحمد لماذا تسكن في القرية وأنت تعمل في المدينة? Why do you live in the city, in the village, وأنت تعمل في المدينة, and you live in the, and you work in the city, right? لماذا تسكن? Why do you live in the village? وأنت تعمل في المدينة, and you work in the city. Now this waw here, what is the meaning of this waw? Is this the waw al-atf, the waw of Lincoln? Not the waw of Lincoln. How we know? If it was the waw of Lincoln, it would have to follow the meaning of before. Meaning, why do you live in the city and why do you something else? But what it's meant, he's not asking about why you working in the city, in the city. If you understand it to mean the waw of Lincoln, I know you understand the general meaning of the sentence, but we want to know the technical meaning of the waw, right? Everybody read the sentence, whether they know what type of waw is not, they know what the person meant. But let me see how to differentiate. Is it the waw of Lincoln, atf, or is it a different waw? If it was the waw of Lincoln, it would have mean that he's asking why are you living in the village, and also why are you working in the city. But he doesn't want to know why he's working in the city. What he wants to know? He wants to know why you're living in the village while you are working in the city. Why you do these two things together? So this is waw of, what you call it? Al-hal. Right? Waw al-hal. The waw that means while. Waw al-hal. Did we mention the Arabic for it in the book? Right? The waw al-hal. Waw al-hal. Like كيف حالك? ليس هناك مشكلة. There is no problem. ليس means not. ليس means not. هناك means there. مشكلة means problem. مشكلة means problem. So not their problem, meaning what? There is no problem. Laisa is used to negate a nominal sentence. When we did kana, laisa and kana operates the same. The meaning is different. Kana is used to put a nominal sentence in the past. Laisa is used to negate a nominal sentence. We're going to deal with laisa in more details, inshallah. Right? Alaysa Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin. Right? For question. Laysa Allahu bi ahkamil hakimin. Allah is not the best of judges. Alaysa, isn't Allah not the best of judges? Right? Alaysa Allahu biqadirin ala ay yuhyi al-mawta. Isn't Allah not able to give life to the dead? Right? Laysa, not. Negate the nominal sentence. كيف تذهب إلى المدينة? كيف means how. تذهب means what? You go to the city. أذهب بالقطار. I go with القطار. What is قطار? Airplane. What is airplane? Huh? Matar. Matar is airport. طيارة is طيارة. طيارة is a female pilot. طائرة. كم تستغرق الرحلة إلى المدينة؟ كم تستغرق الرحلة إلى المدينة؟ تستغرق means like how long something lasts. So here rihla means what? Trip, right? Rihlatu shita'i was saif, the trip of the journey of the winter and the summer. So kam tastaghriqu rihla means how long does the journey last, the trip last, how long it takes. Right? Tastaghriq, if I come yastaghriq ad-dars, how much time does the class take? Right? Kam tastaghriq. إلى المدينة تستغرق ساعة ونصف ساعة ونصف الساعة. It lasts or it takes an hour. Nisf, what's nisf? Half, and half of the hour, meaning half an hour, right? Half of the hour. It takes an hour and half of the hour. Taqriban means approximately. This word like this, approximately. Taqriban means approximately. Clear? All right. All right, a quick benefit. We're going to leave the other one for after Salah. What is the meaning of this word? What is this word? Huh? Oh wait, I didn't. What is that word? Mushkila. Right? We just did this in the conversation. What is the meaning of mushkila? Problem? What is this word? Fawaqi. What is fawaqi? Fruits. Fawaqi is what? Fruits. So what is the meaning of the sentence? Fruits of problems? Now if you see this word here, see I didn't put any tashkil. Can be mushkila, can be mushakkala. What is mushakkala? Mixed. Mushakkala means what? Mix. Now, how are you going to know whether it's mushakkala or mushkila? Only one way to know. The context, right? In the context. You see, fawaqih is not the fruits of problems, it's the mixed fruits. Okay, we're going to continue after the salah, inshallah, at 5:30. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Salatu wassalam ala Rasulillah wa ala alihi wa sahbihi ajma'in. Everyone back? Your phone not on vibrate or anything, right? Huh? Make sure it's dead silent. Alright. So let's do the next lesson, inshallah. So we're on the 13th wahda. We skipped the 12th. Oh, we didn't know. We did. This one was the 12th. Sorry. Oh, we're actually on the 12th. Yeah, we're on the 12th. The 12th unit. Al-Wahda Al-Thaniyata Ashra. The 12th unit. Al-Hiwar al-Awwal, the first conversation. Unzur wastami' wa'a'id. Look, listen, and repeat. The word unzur means look, right? Command form, look. Now, if unzur is look, what is he looked? If unzur is looked, look, command. Telling somebody, look. What's going to be? He looked. Past tense. He looked. Huh? No, that's command too. Remember, past tense verb always begin with the past tense third person, the he. It always begins with a fatha and ends with a fatha, right? The three letter, more specific, the three letter past tense verb. Nadhara, right? Nadhara. So nadhara means he look. Nadhara means he look. I looked. Gonna be what? I looked. I wrote. Is I eat, I sleep, I drink, I sit. Yeah. I sat, sorry. I drank, I ate. You're supposed to memorize the tables already. Nazar, two, right? Nazar, two. Nazar, two. The looker. Who is the looker? Huh? Three letter verb. Nazir. Right? Wujuhun yawma'idhin nadira ila rabbiha naziratun. Right? Faces on that day will be nadira, radiant, bright. Ila rabbiha, to its Lord, meaning the faces to its Lord, naziratun, looking. Right? Why is tikta? Because faces. So this is a conversation between Shakir and Sharif. Shakir and Sharif. Now Shakir is on the doer form, right? Fa'il, Shakir. What is the meaning of Shakir? Literal meaning. Here is the name of a person. Right? Shakara means he was thankful, right? He thanked. So the Shakir is the one who's thankful, right? The grateful one. Ma hiwayatuka ya Sharif. Ma hiwayatuka ya Sharif. Hiwaya means hobby, right? Hiwaya means hobby. Ma hiwayatuka. Remember, you got to memorize these conversation. English and Arabic. Ma hiwayatuka. What is your hobby? Right? Don't just learn the vocabs, memorize the conversation. Ma hiwayatuka ya Sharif. What is your hobby, O Sharif? Hiwayati kathiratun. Now the plural for hiwayatun is hiwayatun. Right? Because it ends with a ta marbuta, feminine. So the plural takes alif and ta. Hiwayati is what? My hobbies. Right? My hobbies kathiratun. Plenty. A lot. Hiwaya. Yeah, hiwaya means hobby. And the ka means your. The ka means your. Alright, let me break this down. So you have hiwaya by itself, it's written with a ta marbuta, right? Hiwayatun. Hiwayatun. Right? Hiwayatun. Now the plural for it, any feminine plural, hiwayatun. Right? Hiwayatun. So if you put a pronoun to this, the hobby of yours or your hobby, hiwayatuka. Right? Hiwayatuka. And here, it can be hiwayatuka. Right? Hiwayatuka. Where are these guys? They went to eat? Clear? So Shakir asked him, what is your hobby? He said, my hobbies are plenty, right? I have a lot of hobbies. Al-qira'atu was-safaru wal-murasalatu. Al-qira'atu was-safaru wal-murasalatu. All of these are masdars. Qira'a means reading. That's one of his hobby. As-safar is traveling, right? Traveling, from traveler. And murasala from risala. Risala means letter. Murasala means sending letters, right? Corresponding. So murasala, he likes to send letters. وَمَا هِوَايَاتُكَ أَنْتَ. Sharif asking Shakir again. No. What are your hiwaya? You, right? وَمَا هِوَايَاتُكَ أَنْتَ. Hiwayati, right? My hobbies are الرياضة والرحلات والقراءة أيضا. الرياضة. What is الرياضة? Huh? Math. City. That is what he said. Riyada here means exercising, like gym. Exercise. More exercise, not gym, exercise. Biking, hiking, riyada, exercise. Rihalat is traveling. Rihalat is traveling, like safar. And qira'a is reading. Right? Rihalat is the plural for rihlatun. Right? Rihlatu shita'i wa sayf. The plural is rihlat. Rihlat. ماذا تقرأ يا شريف? What do you read, O Sharif? أقرأ الكتب والمجلات الإسلامية. أقرأ الكتب والمجلات الإسلامية. He's saying, I read books and Islamic magazines. I read books and Islamic magazines.
So it's not I read Islamic books and Islamic magazines.
Possibly, it could possibly mean that. Right? I read books and Islamic magazines. The Islamic here can refer to all in general, but it, from the context, books can be anything, right? It can be tafsir book, logo book, science book, fiqh book, biology book. So not necessarily the Islamic going back to the book, but grammatically it's possible. وَمَاذَا تَقْرَأُ أَنْتَ? What do you read? Now note here, this is Majallat al-Islamiyya is noun and adjective, but one has a kasra and one has a fatha, and it's grammatically correct, right? At the end of the class, if you all want to know why, if you forget why, we're gonna touch that. But let's just run through this here. ماذا وماذا تقرأ أنت? What do you read? What do you read? أقرأ الكتب الإسلامية. I read Islamic books. Now here he attributed direct to the book, right? The next person. وَالْمَجَلَّاتِ الْعِلْمِيَّةِ. What is ilmiya? Ilmiya means scientific. Literally it means knowledge base. Ilmiya from ilm, right? Ilmiya is the adjective of ilm, knowledge. So knowledgeable, knowledge-based things, you call it ilmi. Right? This is a darus ilmi, it's a knowledge-based class. You understand? Is an adjective. You're just describing that is you gain knowledge from it. But also it's used to mean scientific. The word ilm, ma'lum, ulum, ilm and ulum is used to mean science. So here, wal majallat ilmiya is going to mean scientific magazines, right? And it can mean, because scientific is knowledge base, meaning you learning knowledge from it. هل لديك مكتبة؟ هل لديك؟ هل means for question. What is لديك? Right? You have. لديك is another word for you have. لديك you have. لديه he has. لدي take out the kaf. Look, it's here, right? لدي this one I have. Right? Do you have a maktaba? Is a library. نعم لدي مكتبة كبيرة. Yes, I have a big library. كم ساعة تقرأ في اليوم? ساعة means hour. كم, how many hour you read in the day. Now remember, the thing that you count in takes fatha, singular. ساعة. English you say how many hours. Arabic you say how many hour. Because this is the thing you are counting. How many hours you read in the day? أقرأ ثلاث ساعات. أقرأ ثلاث ساعات. I read 3 hours. تقريبا, approximately. أنا أقرأ 4 ساعات في اليوم. I read 4 hours in the day. أنا أقرأ 4 ساعات في اليوم. القراءة هواية مفيدة. القراءة reading, right? القراءة reading, generally speaking, right? Reading is hiwaya, hobby. Mufida means beneficial. Mufida means beneficial. Ta because it's adjective for hiwaya. Right? Here it doesn't mean the reading, meaning the reading that he does is a beneficial. No, he's talking general. Reading in general is a beneficial hobby. Reading in general is a beneficial hobby. Okay. Remember, know through, and then on your own you go through the vocabs. Okay, we have 3 more. Okay, we can leave that for another day, inshallah. As we mentioned, we're going to finish off this week with the book. We might finish the conversations tomorrow if we do it, or the next day. And we're going to review. And the exam going to be in the last week of the month, inshallah. Right, so you get some time to go over, review, ask questions, and so, inshallah. Huh? The exams? Yeah, we can flex with it. Meaning, we can see if it's gonna be on paper. Okay, Arabic might be easier on paper. We're gonna see, or we can have a time range. You come in and do the exam during these times, and you head out, inshallah. And we're gonna discuss the plan for the rest of the year too. Huh? Inshallah. Okay, let's go to the book. Where did we? Okay, masmuk. Right, study, read, and rewrite. This was. Let's just go through this here quickly. هذا ما أردت. Right, هذا means this ma here is the ma that means alladhi. Right, the ma that means which or that. This is which, this is what I wanted. Aradtu means I wanted, right? Here is not negation. This I didn't want. No, this is what I want. Iqra ma fil kitab. Read what is in the book. Here again, ma means alladhi or allati. Shahadtu ma hadath. I witnessed what happened, right? Shahadtu ma hadath. Hadatha means, in this context, right, happened. It happened, he happened, or took place. The thing that took place is going to be? Huh? No, the thing that took place. Hadatha means it took place. So the thing that is taking place is going to be? 3-letter verbs. Hadith, right? Fa'il. Now the thing that is taking place, what do you call it? The incident, right? That's the incident. The incident, that is what is taking place. So a hadith is an incident and something that is used to mean what do you call it? Like an accident. The thing that took place, right? Masmuk. There is what form? There is a ma that is for question. Right? ماذا قال المعلم? What the teacher said. What the teacher said. ما قرأت الكتاب. I did not read the book. ما قرأت. Here, ma is for negation. والله إنه لصادق. Wallahi. Wallahi is, this waw here means I swear, right? I swear by Allah. Indeed, he is, verily he is truthful. Innahu la sadiq. Innahu la sadiq. جاء الطالب وهو يضحك. The student came laughing. The student came laughing, right? The student came while he is laughing. Showing state. This was showing state. How the student came. رأيت الرجل وهو يمشي في السوق. I saw the man and he is walking in the market. That's the literal, right? But here the waw is not atf. It's not a link, two things. It's saying that you saw the man, and the state that the state he was in when you saw him is he was walking. So I saw him while he is walking in the market. هذا البناء أطول من ذلك. We did this here, right? They're forming the showing comparison, something greater than something, bigger than something. هذا البناء, this building, أطول, is taller than من ذلك, than that, meaning than that one. هذا البناء هو الأطول. This building is the tallest, right? This building is the tallest. هذا البناء هو الأطول. Notice هو, if you take all this هو, هذا البناء الأطول is going to mean this building is the tallest. And it could be an incomplete sentence to mean this tallest, this tallest building, or it can mean this is the tallest building. But by putting the huwa here, it's separating between the subject and the predicate, telling you this is the subject and that is the predicate. This building is the tallest. If you put the huwa here, هذا هو البناء الأطول, it's going to separate, it's going to mean this is the subject and the al-bina al-atwal is the predicate. So you're going to mean this is the tallest building. Comprehend? Let's go again. Take out the huwa. We have this, the building, and the tallest. Is it saying this building is the tallest, or is it saying this is the tallest building? You understand? Because atwal can be an adjective for this, or it can be the predicate, the information about this building. Now by putting huwa here, you know that what's before the huwa is the subject and what's after the huwa is the predicate. So you're going to mean this building is the tallest. Right? ذلك has a typo. Yes, ذلك has a typo, right? Note. هذا البناء هو and if we put it, the huwa here is going to mean this is the tallest building. هذا هو البناء الأطول. Now like I said, those things that don't get digest right away, don't worry about it. But at the same time, now worrying about it, keep studying. Right? Where are we? Take a note. Okay. The next one, السيارة أسرع من الدراجة. Right? The car is faster than the bike. The car is faster than the bike. In the next chapter, the 12th lesson. الدرس الثاني عشر. الدرس الثاني عشر. المفلس فينا. المفلس فينا. The bankrupt amongst us. Now this word muflis, what it sound like? Which other word it sound like? Mufsid. What else? Muslih. What else? Huh? Muslim. So muflis means bankrupt. So he became bankrupt, going to be what? The verb now. If Muslim is Muslim, he became Muslim is, the verb for it is Aslama. So muflis is bankrupt. He was bankrupt. You want to use a verb. He was bankrupt. What are you going to say? Aflasa, right? Same root, same pattern. Aflasa, like aslama. Aslama, he submitted. Aflasa, he was bankrupt. And the doer, Muslim, muflis. Right? Muslim, muflis. قال النبي صلى الله عليه وسلم, the Prophet sallallahu alayhi wasallam said, At-tadruna mal muflisu. I is a question. Tadrun means you all know. Tadrun You all know. Right? Tadri is you know. Tadri, you know, singular. So if you want to ask a person, one person, do you know where is the masjid? Hal tadri ayn al masjid. Hal tadri ayn al masjid. Right? Now you want to ask, you're asking more than one people, where is the masjid? You're going to say, Hal tadrun ayn al masjid. Clear? Hal tadrun ayn al masjid. For this verb, just note that. Tadri, tadrun. Huh? Yeah, there is dual. Right? There is tadriyan. So the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam, he asked the companions, Hal atadrun, right? Do you all know? Ma, what is al-muflis, the bankrupt one, right? Mal-muflis, what is the bankrupt one? Or who is the bankrupt one? Ma and man, something they can be interchangeable. But generally, ma is for inanimate and man is for animate. Ma is generally for what and man is generally for who, right? But it can be interchangeable. The companions, they said, قال الصحابة المفلس فينا من لا درهم له ولا متاع. المفلس فينا, the muflis fina, the bankrupt one in us, the bankrupt one among us, right? Remember we said fi means among. Fi can means among and also it can mean what? In and the next meaning. Three meaning we did. Fi can means regarding. Excuse me. Right? So the muflis amongst us, who is he? Man, he is who? La dirham lahu. No dirham belongs to him. Lahu, right? La belongs to who? Him. Alhamdulillah, right? Praise belongs to Allah. La dirham. No dirham belongs to him. Wala mata' and no mata'. And no mata' means like goods or possessions. Right? Mata' is anything temporary that you use. Anything temporary that you use for enjoyment or survival is your mata'. Like goods can be your mata'. Your baggages can be your mata'. Right? Mata'al lakum wa li an'amikum. Right? After Allah mentioned the plants and the crops of the earth. But he said, Mata'al lakum. These things are mata'. They are provisions, temporary provisions, goods for you and your cattle. Mata'. Right? Innama hadhihi al-hayatu dunya mata'. This worldly life is nothing but a mata'. Right? Because temporary usage. Right? It's temporary enjoyment or usage. So mata' is something that is used, is not long term, for temporary enjoyment or needs. Clear so far? Right? Don't worry about the grammar right now. Just worry about the general meaning. So the muflis amongst us, man, is the one who, la, no, negation, right? Dirham is gold coin. Dirham is a gold coin. He doesn't have any gold coin. Wala mata, and mata is possession, goods or possessions. فقال صلى الله عليه وسلم. So the messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, he said, إن المفلس, indeed the muflis, the bankrupt one, min, from ummati, my ummah, right? Who is he? يأتي يوم القيامة. He comes. يأتي means he comes, right? Ya'ti, he comes. Yawm al-qiyamah, day of judgment, meaning he comes on the day of judgment. Bi salatin, with salah, right? With salah. Wa siyamin, and fasting. Wa zakatin, and zakah. Now note, literally, remember this is indefinite. There's no alif and lam. Literally, it means he comes with as-salah, a fasting, a zakah, right? And if, for example, say, Ya'ti Muhammad bi kitab. Muhammad is coming with a book, right? Muhammad is coming with a book. And also, it can mean general. It doesn't mean that he's coming with a single salah. No, he's coming with salah in general. He's coming with fasting in general, meaning these are from his actions that he's coming with. It's a general statement. Now remember we mentioned the alif and lam can mean general, and this here also, the indefinite can mean general. What's the difference between those two generalization? How you know that it's general here? Because the meaning doesn't make sense to say he comes with as-salah, and a fasting, and a zakah. What is meant, he came with salah, amongst his actions was salah. He had salah, amongst his action he had fasting, and amongst his action he has zakat. Now what's the difference? How we know when to generalize with the indefinite and when to generalize with the alif and lam? Right? For example, if I say, as-salah afdalul a'mal. This salah is the best of deed. Am I speaking about a specific salah? No. What I meant, salah in general is the best of deed. Now, what's the difference between generalizing with alif and lam and generalizing without the alif and lam, meaning putting it in the indefinite state? The context is going to tell you it's general, right? Context, common sense, and a little bit brain work going to tell you it's general, right? Don't worry, no other principle, the easiest principle, right? If you're lacking some common sense, maybe you need some of this, some monster energy. Or take a good sleep. That is one of the key to focusing, sleep, right? So how we know that it's when to generalize with the alif and lam and when to generalize with the nakira, the indefinite. If the generalization include almost all of this thing or all of it, you generalize with alif and lam. So when I say salah is the best of deed, some of the salah, I'm referring to salah in general, all type of salah and all of the salah. Salah in general, all of the salah, right? But now this person who comes with salah in general, did he came with all his salah? No, he's just one individual. He come with his salah, and maybe he didn't even pray all his salah, right? So when the generalization includes everything from this name, you use the alif and lam. And if it's some of its name, you put it in the nakira state. For example, Ja Muhammad bi ta'am. Muhammad came with food. Right? Muhammad came. What I meant, he came with food in general. I'm not saying what food he came. It can't mean he came with a food. Right? I just want to say he came with food, general. Did he come with all of the food? No. So I'm not going to use at-ta'am. Now, if he was the only one who bring the food to the party, I'm going to say, Ja Muhammad bit-ta'am. Right? Because he is the one who bring all the food. No one else bring food. Clear? So, the muflis, the bankrupt one from my ummah, is the one who comes on the day of judgment with salah. I mentioned this thing name live, right? This was gifted, this monster was gifted to me. And nobody asked me the ruling on drinking monster. It gifted to me by a Muslim brother. And maybe the second time I drink one is in my life. Ya'ti, wa ya'ti, and he comes, qad shatama hadha. Now, qad means, remember we said qad is a form of tahqiq, meaning this thing definitely happened. Right? Ya'ti qad shatama hadha. He came and have indeed, shatama means like to insult. He came and he insult hadha, this, meaning this person, right? This one. Shatama hadha. He insulted this one. Wa qadhafa hadha. And he accused this one. Wa akala mala hadha. And he akala, ate, mala, wealth, hadha, of this one. وَسَفَكَ دَمَ هَذَا. And he spilled the blood of this one. وَضَرَبَ هَذَا. And he hit this one. Right? You can put a comma here after that last hadha there. Now let's go back easy. He came وَقَدْ shatama, and he have insulted. Shatama means insult, right? You can literally, shatama, you shatama somebody, you insult them. Qadhafa is when you accuse someone of committing a sin. In the context of the Quran and Sunnah, most of the time is referring to accusing someone of fornication or adultery, right? But generally, accusing someone of committing a sin, that is qadh. Qadhafa literally means to throw something. For example, in cast, right? To cast something or cast someone into somewhere, right? وَقَذَفَ فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ الرُّعْبِ, right? In Surah Al-Hashr and in Surah Al-Ahzab, Allah mentioned, قَذَفَ, he cast, he threw, فِي قُلُوبِهِمْ, in their heart, الرُّعْبِ. What is ru'b? Fear, right? Ru'b means fear. He threw, he cast into the hearts of the disbelievers fear, right? Right. So why is it? It means to accuse someone of a sin, because when you accuse them, you threw in the sin upon them, right? Wrongfully. You threw in the sin upon them wrongfully. So that's qadhafa. So he insult this one, wa qadhafa hadan, accuse this one, wa akala, and he ate mala, wealth of this one, right? Mala hada, mudaf ilay. That's why the mal doesn't have alif and lam nor the fatha. Was safaka, and he, safaka means, when you say safaka dam, he spilled the blood, right? To spill the blood of this one. Spill the blood of this one, to murder, right? Like in Surah Baqarah, when Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala told the angels, Inni ja'ilun fil ardi khalifa, qalu ataj'alu fiha may yufsidu fiha. Are you putting in the earth man who yufsidu, is going to cause corruption, right? Yufsid, mufsid. Yufsidu fiha wa yasfikud dima, and he's going to spill ad-dima, blood. And he's going to spill blood. Right? Wa daraba hadha, and he hit this one. Fayu'ta, so, or then, right, as a result of what he did, this fa, remember we said fa can mean so or then, right? So as a result of what happened before, what's going to happen? Yu'ta is given. Yu'ta means he was given. Yu'ta, sorry, he is given. Yu'ta, he is given. Yu'ti, he gives. Yu'ta, he is given. What's the difference? Yu'ti, he gives. And yu'ta, he is given. When you say yu'ti, who is the giver? He. He gives. We don't know who is given, right? You can mention it. Yu'ti Muhammad. Muhammada. He gives Muhammad. Mala. Wealth. But if I say yu'ta Muhammadun, Muhammad is given. Who is doing the giving? We didn't mention it, right? Similar to he wrote, it was written, right? He calls, he was called. He calls, who is calling? He. He was called, we don't know who was calling. So that's the difference between yu'ti and yu'ta. So fayu'ta means he is given. Now, who is the he here? Hadha. So, hadha yu'ta. So, this one is given. Remember, when the noun is mentioned, you don't translate the hidden doer or the hidden noun in the verb. Right? Kataba by itself means he wrote. But if you say kataba Muhammad, you're not going to say he wrote Muhammad. You say Muhammad wrote. So, here, yu'ta by itself means he is given. Yu'ta hadha means this is given, meaning this one. Right? The people know that he killed and he insult and he cursed. Right? فَيُعْطَى هَذَا مِنْ حَسَنَاتِ. Right? This one is given from min hasanati, his good deeds. وَهَذَا مِنْ حَسَنَاتِ. And this one from his good deeds. Fa'in, so if. Fa'in, so if. Meaning after they are given from his good deeds. Fa'in faniyat hasanatu. Faniya means to run out. They have a better translation there. Give it to fania. When you something fania, it run out. Where's the word fania? Huh? Diminish, deplenish, right? It finish out. So this one is given from his good deeds. This one is given from his good deeds. Now what happens if his good deeds run out? فَإِنْ فَنِيَتْ حَسَنَاتُ. So if his good deeds run out, the ta, because hasanat is feminine, right? So if his good deeds run out, قَبْلَ, before, أَنْ يُقْضَى مَا عَلَيْهِ. Before, now, ma alay means what is upon him. Yuqda means is judged, right, or fulfilled. Remember, he has a case against multiple individual, right? So if what is upon him, the rights that is upon him, right, qabla an yuqda, before it is judged or fulfilled, faniyat hasanatu, his good deeds run out. So if his good deeds run out before what is upon him is judged or fulfilled. Understand each word right now, because the construction might be a little technical, right? And remember those things we say, you got to give it time. Give it time to digest. It might take a day, take 2 days, take a month, a few months, right? But the first thing, understand each word. Fania means run out or ran out, if how you use it. Hasanat, his good deeds. Qabla is before. Yuqda, to be fulfilled or to be judged, right? To be fulfilled or to be judged. Ma is what, right? Meaning alladhi, alayhi, upon him. So if his good deeds run out before what is upon him is fulfilled or judged, in other words, before he give them their rights, what's going to happen? Ukhidha min khatayahum. Ukhidha mean is taken. Akhadha, he took. Ukhidha, it was taken. Akhadha, he took. Ukhidha means it was taken, right? Or it is taken. Ukhidha min khatayahum. Taken from their sins. Khataya is sin, hum, them, right? Or their. So if his good deeds run out before what is upon him is fulfilled or judged, it will be taken from their bad deeds, from their sins. Fa, then, turihat, it will be thrown. This turiha is another word for throw, right? Turiha, it was thrown, right? Then thrown alayhi, upon him. So in other words, the sins will be taken from them and thrown upon him. Thumma turiha, then he will be thrown finnar, into the fire. Now this last piece here, gonna need some time to digest, right? This is not common sense part. This is understanding part, right? So you gotta give it time. But the exposure gonna help you understand it next month. Compared to if next month you see it for the first time, you gotta wait till the following month maybe to understand it. If you get it, alhamdulillah. If you don't get it, give it some time, inshallah. So let's go through the individual vocabs, and these here you have to sit down with it and try figure it out yourself. Give it a 10 minutes, give it a 50 minutes. When you start to get a severe headache, right, then you leave it down. Drink some Panadol, rest, and then the next day you go give it the next 5 to 10 minutes, ponder over it. When you see you getting a headache, that means working, the brain working. If you're not getting a headache and you're not understanding, your brain's not working. If you understand it, good, mission accomplished. If you're not understanding it and you're getting a headache, that means the brain working to get it. But if you're not understanding it and there's no headache, That means you're not focusing. You're just watching the page and you're thinking about where you're going to eat next. Right? So the headache is a sign that the brain is working. Right? You call it counseling. No, counseling students so they don't give up. Muflis, we said, is the bankrupt person. Tadrun, you all know, dirham, gold coin, for question, akala, he ate, mata, belonging or enjoyment, mal, wealth, ummah, nation, daraba, he hit, fania, depleted, deplenish. We had the word right here, right? It depleted or it deplenished, right? Fania in the Quran. Ma indakum, that is young fad. Yafna, where is Yafna in the Quran? Yu'ta, he is given. Ya'ti, he comes. Shatama, he insulted. Safaqa, he shed blood. Right? If you say someone safaqa something, it generally mean he killed. But it's used with dam a lot of time. Dam or dima. Right? Dam is blood, dima, bloods. Plural. But what is going to mean by bloods? Meaning the blood of more than one individual. Right? Ukhidha, he or it was taken. Hasanat, good. Right? Akhadha, he took or it took. Ukhidha, he or it was taken. Right? Ukhidha, he or it was taken. Yuqada, he or it was judged or fulfilled. Yaqdi, he judged or he fulfilled something. Right? Yuqada, he was judged or it was fulfilled. Qadhafa, accuse. Turiha, it was thrown. Fi, in, amongst, regarding. Khataya, sins. Khataya, sins. Okay. Okay, we're going to leave al-masdar for tomorrow, inshallah. Right, because this going to need some focusing. Let's go through this here. Introducing la an-nafiya lil jins. The la that negates, how do you pronounce that word here? Genus. La an-nafiya lil jins, meaning the la that negates a type. The la that negates a type. The la nafiya lil jins is a grammatical concept. Now we said la generally is for negation. Now this is a specific type of negation, right? It is a grammatical concept used to negate an entire category or genus, however you pronounce the word, of a noun. It negates the existence of any member within that category. For example, if you say la rajula fil bait, there is no man in the house, means everyone under the category of man is negated from being present in the house. They may be women, they may be children, and so, right? La rajula fil bayt. There is no man in the house. There is no man in the house. La ahada fil bayt. Now if you say la ahad, there is no one in the house, negates everyone, right? La ahada fil bayt. Now note, when you say there is no man in the house, when you want this meaning to be applied, right? Note the word right after it is what? Singular, and it has a fatha alone. There is no la rajulan, la rajulin, la rajulun, right? Those may give other meanings, but when you want to apply, have this meaning, that is how you say la rajula, la ahada. The noun after this la is always mansub once three conditions are met. The negated noun must be indefinite, meaning the thing that you negated is indefinite. You're negating it generally. You're not negating a specific man or the specific man or something, right? The noun after it has to be indefinite. No alif and lam on it. The noun must come right after the la. The noun must come right after the la. There is no preposition attached to the la. Right? There is no preposition attached to the la. If you see these conditions are met, the noun after it going to be mansub like these, la rajula. But if you say bila, you can say bila rajulin, right? It's not going to be the same. If the man has alif and lam, you can say La rajulu, right? It's not going to take the same ruling. But don't worry about all those side things. Just understand this here. Right? Just understand this here. La rajula. You see a singular word after it, fatha state. What's the meaning? You're negating all of this from being present or within the context that you're talking about. Right? Some famous example. Right? In the hadith, there was a lot. Right? You see? They say, La dirhamala. He has no dirham, right? No dirham belongs to him. You're negating dirham. They're negating this type from being present in his belongings. Wala mata. And he has no belongings, no possessions, right? No food and so on. Right? When we say La ilaha, right? There is no true God. You're negating no God except Allah, right? You're negating all gods from being true except who? Except Allah. ذَلِكَ الْكِتَابُ لَا رَيْبَ فِيهِ. Right, that is the book. There is no doubt in it. So in the entire Quran, you're negating the presence of this thing called doubt from being in the Quran. Right? There's nothing in the Quran to cause you doubt. La dhulma al-yawm. On the day of judgment, Allah says, La dhulma. There is no oppression al-yawm today. Right? So now you understand why all of these things, they lose their tanween, there is no alif and lam. Okay? It's complete negation of them. قَالُوا سُبْحَانَكَ. The angels, they said, right, to Allah in the same story. They said, Subhana, glory be to you. When Allah told them, when they said, are you going to put on the earth someone who's going to kill and cause corruption? Right, Allah said, I know that which you do not know. And then He challenged them, name these things if you think you know. Right, and then what they say? La ilma lana. We have no knowledge. Right, la ilma, no knowledge. Lana belongs to us. Illa, except ma allamtana, that which you allamta. Right, allamta, you taught, na us. Allamta, you taught us. Clear? All right, we're going to know when the exam reach. So we're going to pause here, inshallah. We have 5 minutes. We're not going to start, as you said, the masdar, but we're going to give a quick benefit before 6:30 reach that you notice or may have noticed. What's the meaning of kataba? He wrote. What's the meaning of akhraja? Right, he kicked out, or he expelled, he took out. Here we use he took out. Right, he took out, or he expelled. Right, something. There's something going to be in the sentence, right? أخرج المدرس الطالب. The teacher, أخرج المدرس الطالب. What's the meaning of أكل? أكل? أكل means he ate, right? What is the meaning of قاتل. No. Qatala is he killed. Qatala is he fought. Right? Here's how you spell it. Right, he ate. Now, these words, these verbs, you call them the words المبني للمعلوم. Meaning, you know the doer. The verbs where you know the doer. They're regular verbs, right? They're the basic, the default verbs. Then you have the form where you want to hide the doer, right? We put the next one here. Daraba. Daraba means he hit, right? He hit. When you want to hide the doer, for the past tense. So for example, Muhammad wrote the book. Gonna be what? Muhammad wrote the book. كتب محمد الكتاب. Muhammad wrote the book. Now you want to say, if you take out the doer, you want to say the book was written. You're going to say, Kutiba al-kitab. Kutiba, right? Kutiba alaykumus siyam. Fasting was written upon you. The book was written. This one here means the book was written. What you did? You put Dhamma on the first and Kasra on the second to last. Dhamma on the first and the Kasra on the second to last. So Daraba, for example, he hit. So let me say, if you say Ahmad hit Daraba Ahmadu al-Talib. Ahmad hit the student. Right? Daraba Ahmadu al-Taliba. Now you want to say the student was hit. What are you going to say? Right? Duriba. Duriba al-Talib. Duriba al-Talib. The teacher expelled the student. أخرج المدرس الطالب. The student was expelled or thrown out. What are you going to say? Or took out. Right? And for students, you can say thrown out. What are you going to say? Dhamma on the first. Right? This is for past tense. Dhamma on the first. And Kasra on the second to last. Right? So, ukhrija at-talib. What I mean? The student was thrown out. Ukhrija. Remember, everything else remain the same. Dhamma on the first. Kasra, second to last. Muhammad ate the apple. The apple was eaten. You're going to say what? The apple was eaten? Was eaten. Right? Ukila. Ukila. Tuffah. Right? Ukila tuffah. The apple was eaten. Who ate it? Right? You didn't say. We may know, but you didn't say. No, we're going to come to that. Now, قاتل, he fought, right? Now we say, قاتل الكفار المسلمين. Okay, let me skip that one. قاتل John Ahmad. John fought Ahmad. You want to say Ahmad was fought against, or he was foughted. Or you say, where is the switch for that? What do you call it in English? Right? He was fought. You want to say Ahmad? See if, now remember what we got to do. What we got to do? Put Dhamma on the force. Right? Correct? Dhamma on the force. But we got a problem here. Dhamma and Alif don't go together. Remember there's the Alif for what? For stretching. So, Qatala. Now this Alif, because you put it to Dhamma, you change the Alif to Waw. Qutila. So, Qutila Ahmad. Ahmad was fought. Meaning somebody fighting. But we didn't mention who. Clear? Now the word that comes after it, after this form of the verb, remember that word in the previous sentence was what? Was maf'ul bi, was the object. Right? And it took fatha, right? Daraba Ahmadu at-taliba. Now this Ahmad hit the student. Now when you put it in this form, the student was hit, you're going to take Dhamma. So the book was written, you're going to say Kutibal kitabu. The student was expelled, Ukhrija talibu. Right? Kutila Ahmadu. Ukila tuffahu. Is no longer considered maf'ulun bihi. Object. Don't worry, understand why right now. Just know that is what's happening. Right? We're going to deal with why another time. Or you're going to confuse too much a thing. I know you want to ask why. Right? So, now this is with the past tense. Now the present tense, now we had, okay, let that digest. Let that digest. Tomorrow, inshallah, we're gonna do the present tense. We officially finished. We started 7 already. Okay, so let's end there. Anyone wants to leave can leave. Any questions? Inshallah, we're gonna ask the questions. Something we said we're gonna explain at the end. The kasra on in the conversation. Remember the conversation? Aqra'u al-kutuba. I read the books. Wal majallati al-islamiyata. I read books and Islamic magazines. Now, I read books. Books is supposed to be, is the object, right? I read, I'm the reader, I'm the doer, and the books is the object. Clear? That part clear? So the books has to take fatha. Or more specifically, the books got to be, what's fatha state? Mansub. So I read books. And Islamic magazines. So magazines, right, in Arabic you say magazine Islamic. So magazine is also what you? Magazine is the same, magazine is, has to be in Mansub state, right, because that is also what you're reading. And Islamic has to be in Mansub state because remember it's describing magazine. And the word, the adjective has to follow the noun with the state. Now, a magazine Because it's the plural feminine form. The plural feminine form, when it is mansub, it takes kasra. So that's why he said, أقرأ الكتب والمجلات. Now, magazines, the Islamic has to be mansub also, but it's a regular word. So it's going to be mansub with fatha. That's why you get majallati al-islamiyya ta. It's not going to say islamiyati, because when you say islamiyati, a regular word with ta marbuta at the end, right? It's mansub with fatha and majrur with kasra. That's why in the Quran you have خَلَقَ السَّمَاوَاتِ وَالْأَرْضَ. He created the heavens. So heavens there is object. But because heavens is a plural, feminine plural, samawati, and feminine plural words, right? The regular feminine plural words that end with alif and ta don't take fatha. So it's mansub with kasra. But art, al-ard, is mansub with fatha. Regular mansub, right? So you say as-samawati wal-arda, right? That was it.